Hi there, this is a quick introduction to the PAS iCall system. The iCall is an industrial call system based around conventional industrial PA components in a configuration which allows communication between several points in a noisy environment. So basically the core of the system is the iCall unit, the MP562 here, which is a noise cancelling mic capsule with a heavy duty press to talk switch. That's the basis of each call station equipment. Local to that will be a loudspeaker, generally a horn speaker, but any type of industrial speaker can be used to suit the actual noise levels of the environment where it's being used. So that's just a quick look there of one of the units. Right, in this demonstration video what we're going to show you is the inside and wiring arrangements of these units. Here we have the lid taken off one of the three units that we have out in front of us at the moment. Obviously these will be installed over a run, over a machine, or within a site or a factory. But if we look in closely here, we can see that we have a preamplifier board within the unit which is taking power down the line. Further down here below we have connection points for the loudspeakers. Obviously the local loudspeaker line will be on the output side of this, which in this case will be the white. It's commoned up in the center here, and we have black feed here showing in and out, which is the feed from the amplifier. And this one is going out to the next call point, which just so happens to be right next to me here, and we've got the same arrangement again. So the black is the feed from the amplifier, which I'll show in a second. That daisy chains in and out of all the call station positions so that we have a feed, and at each point we have an output wire to the local speaker. In this case, in our test rig here, they are going to ceiling speakers above my head, but normally they will be to a horn speaker in the noisy environment. So that's the general arrangement of the wiring for the speakers. If we look up here on a typical, on the preamp board, we have a voltage 24 volt on the red and black, and then down here we have white and black, which is the communication sort of pair. And they link, this is the last one so it doesn't go out, there's only one cable, but if we go back across to the previous one we can see that they link in and out across the connections here. And what we actually have are, try and get that in focus for you, are twisted pair cables. Each cable is a 2 pair twisted cable. You can see a white and black and a red and black, and within this yellow and green sleeving we have a drain wire which is part of the shielding. So it's a screened 2 pair cable. Belden equivalent is 9502. That's what we're using here. It works very well in most installations. So we're going in and out of every intermediate one, and here at the first one out from the amplifier we're doing exactly the same. So out from the amplifier to the first one, in and out there, in and out there, and then just in on the last one on the run. So I'll stop the video there. Right, at the control end there is an amplifier, which is this one here. In this case it's a Bosch mixer amplifier. Simplified connection arrangements here. Obviously there is power required, in this case 230 volts. Here we have the loudspeaker output, which is going off to the very first of the call stations just across there. That's the black wire that I was showing you earlier. We wire up on the back here to the common and the 100 volt terminals. Across here we have 2 audio inputs available. Only one is required. The second one is there in case the daisy chain arrangement for the microphone call points isn't convenient. You can bring one back from a different direction and terminate it within this box here. So those cables from the back of the amplifier go into this junction box, which is here solely to allow the cables to go out to the call stations, which this one is doing there, as you can see. So that grey wire, which wires in on the terminals on the printed circuit board, will come back to this block here, and the output of which will go up and to the amplifier on one of those inputs. So if for argument's sake you had a run down a machine, you could do that one way. You could always bring another one in a second direction and connect it up to here and use the second input. Don't worry if you don't need the two of them, you can always unplug the one you don't want. So that's that side of the amplifier. The other connection coming out here, this thin black cable, is to a 24 volt DC regulated power supply, which provides the power for the preamplifier boards in each of the MP562s. You can see this green glow underneath here, that's a power LED on the underside of the board. So just turn this over, and the call is made by just pressing this button here. And that is actually coming out through the loudspeakers in this space. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. On the front of the amplifier there is the means to adjust the levels, the volume levels that are required. And they are done here. Set the master control to 2/3 to maximum on that large control here, and then the other two sockets we saw plugged in earlier on are for the mic runs themselves. So that's the other one that's controlling all the microphones on that run that we just had there of 3. So really speaking, if they're all in a run of 3, you only need that control and that control to be turned up to get some audio out of this system. So that's the front of the amplifier. There is a power switch here. Very little else to sort of worry about on there. There are tone controls there, so it is possible to sort of put a little bit of treble or bass into the sound. Most of the time you won't require that. The back of the amplifier is 230 volt power. The loudspeaker output on 0 and 100 volt, and then the two mic channels, mic 1, mic 2, for the two lines from the junction box and power supply sort of arrangement here. So that's basically the iCall system. It's all proved working. And the wiring just simplified as much as possible for you to sort of see how it goes together.